Is there a storyline yet for Rambo 27?
Yes, we attack Leisure World.
Okay.
In our...
Oh, hello, Chris. Bail me out of this.
Okay. Mr. Crenna, I've always been an admirer of yours, and I think you're a wonderful actor. And I'm also a fan of the old I Love Lucy shows. And I remember seeing you in an episode of I Love Lucy, and I just couldn't believe it. You were so young, and I thought it was really neat. Can you kind of explain what was that period of your time in life then? And was
thank
it
you.
the first time you've ever acted? Or I thought it was really neat.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that, and we talked about a little bit about Armis Brooks, and I had finished doing Armis Brooks and radio, like Mike here. We used to do radio and television, not a simulcast, but in the last couple of years we did them together. But we did Armis Brooks on radio for about 6, 7 years before we did it on television. And at that time, I thought I was really too old to play Walter Denton. I'd gotten to the point where I thought I'd passed through my adolescent period. I should get on with life. And I didn't want to do the television version. But I had done a radio show called My Favorite Husband with a lady named Lucille Ball. And it was a segment of the her that was so popular that we had replayed it twice on radio. And when she then went to television with her version of My Favorite Husband, which became then I Love Lucy, when she brought her real-life husband, Desi Arnaz, into the picture, she wanted to do that show. And I said, okay, well, I'd love to do it. So I did it. It was the second I Love Lucy ever filmed. And CBS, that happened to be the producers and owners of the Armis Brooks show as well, said, well, look, you did that. Now, why can't you just do Armis Brooks for 1 year? Because Eve wanted the whole family of radio to be together on television. She wanted me desperately to play Walter Denton because we loved each other as a family. And I said, okay, Eve, I'll do it for 1 year, but only 1 year. So I did it the first year, and of course, then I did it the second year, then I did it the third year, and then they finally did come and take me away to Leisure World. They said, you go to the big boys town in the sky. It's time to take off your Letterman sweater.
All right. Chris, thanks for calling. Do you ever look back? I mean, you've done so many, and you've worked. It's probably easier to ask you who you haven't worked with in Hollywood, but you ever look back at episodes? You said you have some on tape, a lot of things you've done on tape, and say, I did that?
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed sometimes at the things at the variety of things in my life. Early on, I thought that my so-called versatility was a detriment, that people really weren't going to know what I did or who I was and so on. And I think that's really the reason I'm still here talking to you today, Mike. Yeah. I think if I had been locked into one character or one particular kind of thing, whether it be comedy or drama or villains or whatever else, that my career would have finally, turned to dust by now. But the fact that I've been able to go from comedy to pictures to the little screen to series and back and forth again, I think is certainly been interesting to me as an actor, and I think it keeps an audience kind of intrigued by what you're going to do next. Maybe they're surprised when they see me, and I think that's nice. I enjoy, the callers this morning. We've heard 3 or 4 different people mention 3 or 4 different things, and that's very gratifying to me.
Maybe we'll get a 5th one. Hello, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How you doing this morning, Mike?
Great, thank you.
Well, I drive a truck over the road, and this is my birthday, and they let me off today, and I just happened to turn it on, and this is the first time I ever saw your show, and I really enjoy it, and it got one of my...
Well, this is my co-host, Richard Crenna. I hope you watch it every day.
Oh,
yeah.
I seem like it. I've got, I don't know how many tapes of him and Grandpa McCoy that I've taped, and Armis Brooks that I've taped on my VCR and all this. I also had that movie that him and Angie Dickerson played in, the detectives or police story that they made. And
oh, yes.
I hope that he makes umpteen thousand more like that, because I would have one question, though, that I collect pictures from like Cagney and Lacey and all the favorite people that I really enjoy, and I tried to get one of Chuck Connors and all this, and I don't know how that you go about getting pictures of the people that you really admire, and just about I'm 48 years old today, and I just like the people you growed up with, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you, you sent a letter to Mike. That's the easiest way to do it, right here at WHIO. He'll get it to me, and I guarantee you I'll send you one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure appreciate that, but I would like to see you, I'd like to see you make 1,500 more movies.
Hey, Bill, let me ask you
thank you. I
something.
certainly
Where did the McCoys move from?
The hills of West Virginia.
Where in West Virginia? Our Jim Jones, our Saturday morning man, and the voice of WHIO, told me what community they moved from, and I thought I was a TV trivia nut. You remember?
No.
Don't remember, do you? Okay, that was good enough to remember West. Do you remember?
Wheeling.
No, it was some little Pottsford Dam or something.
Well,
West
no, it was
Virginia.
Wheeling.
Was it Wheeling?
Sure.
Oh, I love the voice.
Yeah, Wheeling.
I love it.
Just outside of Wheeling.
I love it. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Mike Scinto Show coming to you live from the studios of 1290 WHIO Radio and the facilities of Television 7. We're back with Richard Crenna. We go back to the phones, Yellow Springs, and say hello to Pat, a first-time caller. Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Pat.
I just wanted Richard Crenna to know that he says that very few people are stars. Whenever I pick up a TV book or a paper of any kind, and like the morning show that says Richard Crenna, I just automatically watch it. I don't even go to anybody else.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. That's the best kind of stardom.
Yes, I think that you're one of the best, and any show that you've ever played in, you just automatically know it's going to be good.
Well, thank you.
And I don't have any questions for you.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you how great you are.
Well, you made my day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pat. Bye-bye. Have you ever been in a scandal in National Enquirer? That's when you really achieve stardom, isn't it? I mean, you've never given birth to a two-headed baby, or?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
I think a scandal, one good scandal, something like that would be, kind of exciting for me.
Sure.
Perhaps I would get up some morning and leave my socks off or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Really scandalous.
Keith from Centerville, hi.
Hi.
Yes.
I'm a great person who likes the program Centennial. I read the book and have liked the TV series Centennial also. And I was wondering, can you kind of explain some of your feelings and that concerning Centennial and working with the different actors and actresses with regard to that series?
Well, that was a very interesting project. Of course, any of those books of Mitchner's are great, but that was a particularly interesting project. And of course, I played a real villain in that. I played Colonel Skimmerhorn. That's one of a series of colonels I played, some good, some not so good. And Skimmerhorn, I think, had one of the most despicable lines in all of television or movie history when he orders the death of two very small Indian children. And the sergeant looks at him and he says, "Shoot him." And the sergeant looks at him quizzically, and the colonel says, "Nits breed lice." And I think that's one of the most... I had to look at those little actors, the little wonderful little Indian children, a little boy and a little girl, with those big eyes looking up to me, and I spent about a half hour hugging them to tell them that it was all play acting. I figured we were going to change their lives. They'd be on the couch the rest of their lives, these poor children, but... it was a very good series. It was a wonderful series, I thought.
Keith, thank you very much for calling. I've got about 30 seconds. Would you like to go back to episodic TV?
Not really, Mike. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now so much, but I never say never, because there's one character that I do, Lieutenant Frank Janik, that I've done 2 miniseries, and will do a 3rd this year. Mm-hmm. And I like that character, but I don't want to do too many because I think you overstay your welcome.
Okay, about 10 seconds. You said you were a down-to-earth... I've loved interview. This has been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Richard Crenna.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. See you tomorrow on Bogey Busters.
This simulcast segment of the Mike Scinto Show was a presentation of 1290 WHIO Radio and Television 7. Join us tomorrow morning for another exciting guest and conversation. The Mike Scinto Show can be heard weekdays from 9 till 1 on AM 1290 WHIO.